Hey guys, this is Mike Mahaffey, the old bastard BJJ guy, here for BJJ Mental Models. Back in my day, we had to walk uphill in the snow both ways to get to the academy just to learn some crappy technique from a random purple belt. You kids have it so easy because now you can just subscribe to BJJ Mental Models Premium and get tons of great audio courses to learn new techniques, enhance your mindset, and entertain yourself. You can even get personalized rolling reviews from some of your favorite BJJ Mental Models coaches, including me. It's like having your own seminar, you spoiled little whippersnappers. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe to BJJ Mental Models Premium right now, get off my lawn, and go train.
Hey, welcome to BJJ Mental Models. I'm Steve Kwan. BJJ Mental Models is your guide to a conceptual and intelligent jiu-jitsu approach, and I'm back again with another one of our mini episodes, a quick introduction to a key mental model to help you better understand and accelerate your growth in the sport of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Today, I want to talk about a concept I've discussed many times on the main podcast: grips dictate position. This realization to me was a game changer for my jiu-jitsu. I first really came to realize the importance of this when I think I was around a brown belt, and I was getting really frustrated because I just couldn't pull off the techniques that I was being told to do in class. I was following the steps perfectly, but my opponent was defending, and so things just didn't work the way that I expected. And at one point I got frustrated and thought, what if I just forget all of that and just focus on a simple idea? Don't let them grip me. If they do grip me, I'm going to turn that around and I'm going to make sure that I deal with that before anything else. And once I started doing that, almost overnight, my jiu-jitsu got a lot better. And that was a big part of me realizing the importance of mental models in jiu-jitsu and how thinking in terms of these simple ideas can be much more effective than trying to memorize complicated technical sequences. So grips dictate position tells us exactly what the name implies, that whoever controls the grips is probably going to control the position. Think about your experiences with guard, both as the person on top and the person on bottom. If you look at the troubles you've had either passing someone's guard or retaining your own guard, one thing that you'll probably realize is as soon as you lost the grip fight, that's when things started to go wrong for you. It is very hard to advance position if you are not winning the grip fight. Your grips are one of the most critical parts of your jiu-jitsu game because they're the thing that allows you to execute a lot of the movements that you want to execute. It's very hard to use a lot of the core mechanics we talked about, like hooks and levers, if you are not connecting with your opponent. So that's the importance of grips there. And my advice to everyone is focus on winning the grip fight before you try to do anything else. So examples of this, if you are trying to pass someone's guard and you're in a big rush to get past their legs, and you find that every time you do that, they're just sending you flying, a big part of that might be because they've got dominant grips on you while you are passing their guard. And it's very hard to pass someone's guard if they have dominant grips on you. My old instructor, Don Whitefield, the guy who gave me my black belt, once told me there's 3 phases to passing the guard. Step number 1 is disentangle, step number 2 is control, step number 3 is pass. Most of us were in a big rush to do step number 3, and we forget steps 1 and 2. So if you're trying to pass someone's guard and you haven't won the grip battle yet, and you haven't established a form of control, it's going to be very hard to maintain whatever pass you attempted to get. So always think about the importance of grips, because, and this is not just a guard thing, this is applicable to pretty much any position in jiu-jitsu, from stand-up to guard work to side control to mount. You want to be winning the grip fight as a top priority. If someone has dominant grips on you, deal with those dominant grips before you do anything else. Now, this does raise the question of what is a dominant grip. Not all grips are what I would call dominant grips. A dominant grip is where the other person has more control over you with the grip than you may have over them. So sometimes it's possible to grab onto something and the grip is just useless. You will see this a lot with beginners where sometimes they feel that any grip is better than no grip. That isn't always true. If I'm grabbing part of your body, it's because I want to have the ability to move you or control you somehow. If I can't actually get any control off of you, then it's not a good grip. And in fact, it might be more of a liability to me than anything because I might be giving you access to my arm or whatever I'm gripping you with. Some grips, on the other hand, like a strong arm drag grip, those are very powerful weapons because I can move you with those. There's other grips that I can use to frame off of you. So always be thinking about this from a grip standpoint. Understand that not all grips are dominant grips, and a common beginner mistake is to focus on grips that actually aren't serving any purpose. So if you want a quick way to assess whether a grip is a dominant grip, ask yourself 2 questions. Number 1, is this grip giving me some control of my opponent or myself? And number 2, is my opponent able to get more control with this grip than I am? That's important because sometimes you're in a counter gripping exchange where you've grabbed them and they've grabbed you, and depending on how it's done, they might have more control. So just because you're both grabbing onto each other doesn't mean that it's a completely equal situation. You need to be feeling whether you've got dominant control with that grip, and if you don't, it might be time to deal with that grip. And how can you deal with that? We're going to talk about that in the next mini episode. I've got 3 ways that I like to deal with grips, and so we'll explain that in a little bit more detail when we talk about counter gripping in the next mini episode. Again, I hope this was helpful, and my big one takeaway here for all of you is think more intelligently about how you grip. Don't try to do techniques until you've won the grip fight. It's very hard to advance position if you are losing the grip fight, and if you prioritize winning the grip fight before you try to advance position, you're probably going to find a lot more success getting those advancements, and you're probably going to find your opponent struggles a lot more to counter grip you. Thanks a lot for listening. We'll talk to you soon.